always liked art, but it wasn't until I was an adult, maybe in my late 30s, that I met an artist. His name was Alan Rohan Crite, and in Boston, he was considered the patriarch of Boston black artists. And I never even told him that I did a little art because, you know, he's
him. I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but one day I couldn't help myself, so I brought down some of these wall hangings that I had done. These wall hangings were leftover scraps from a play that my kids were in. I had done the costumes, and these were leftovers, and I had kind of done little wall hangings. And he just looked at them. And I said, oh my God, I've made a fool of myself. But he said it reminded him of tapestries you see in churches, these tapestries, these hanging tapestries.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I lived in a dormitory at Harvard. My husband was a student. I had 3 children and whatever, so we didn't have a lot of space for art. So he made space in his home for me to be an artist. So I just started doing art and going down there and making art. But what he really did was he introduced me to the art community in Boston. I was new. I had come here for my husband to go to school, so I didn't really know artists or anything. So he started taking me around to all the exhibits, and of course everyone knew him. And he introduced me as this fabulous artist. Okay, so I just started, that was on my mind, making art, and that's what I did. Mr. Crite died in 2007, but he believed in me, and so that made all the difference in the world. He thought I had the capacity to be a good artist, and so that's what I do. I just want to be a good artist. The place where I do my art is called the African American Master Artist in Residence Program. It's a part of Northeastern University, the African American Studies Department. And we have 2 galleries. So, of course, I exhibit there a lot. Because
That's where we can find your latest work?
Yes.
The world is full of treasures. The imagination is limitless. So to the degree that we open ourselves to what is being made around us and what it tells us about ourselves and others, we live in a vital environment.
What does being creative mean to you?
So all of life is about the bravery, the daring of stepping forward into something new. And when you step forward into something new, you exist in a tension. And that tension is the source of creativity. Now, you can't be an artist unless you're brave. Because when you're presented with material, it keeps posing questions. What's to be done with it next? When is it finished? What will it reveal about you? So all of that is from the fundamental thing that makes us human, and that is the exercise of creativity informed by the imagination.
To all the people that are creative but are scared to take that step of being daring, how do you pass that? How do you get past being afraid of failing and being creative?
Those of us who like to think of ourselves as agents of creativity like to engage ourselves in urging people to be brave, to be daring, to do what you have in mind. Because in fact, you don't know what you have in mind until you do it. Things are realized in the making of themselves. That's why you cannot be a coward. If you're afraid that what you're going to do is going to fail, you've failed already because you've arrested yourself. In order to exercise any freedom, you have to dare to do the next thing. And it comes unguaranteed. And in the tension and the fright and the reservation resides the possibility. Nothing fantastic, powerful, moving, poignant was ever made by retreating.
I'm a professional artist now. I wasn't always. I was actually a preschool teacher. Little babies.
Me too.
Were you?
Yeah, for like 10 years.
Yeah. I mean, I've always done art, but this is for the past 3 or 4 years since I retired. This is my full-time job now, to be a professional artist.
That is really good. So you took the leap. Were you scared at all?
I was. I came to the realization, actually, that I have to do art. It'll follow me if I try not to. I'll dream and wake up and do the piece that I just dreamt about. At the moment, I'm working on about 5 pieces now.
Do you have the problem of, because I used to do it, but when you try to finish a piece of artwork, it just never seems to be done?
I had an art teacher named Bob Goff in New York who told us that it takes 2 people to do a painting. One person to actually do the painting, then another person to come up and hit him upside the head when it's time to stop. And I've taken that lesson down.
How has your work developed since you first started?
It's become a little more political in the sense of being reactive to, especially now, to today's political climate. I feel that it's part of the artist's responsibility to educate and to inform. As the young kids say, wake up and stay woke.
Really digging your shirt.
Thank you very much. I actually call this my shooter shirt. I designed this about 12 years ago. And basically it was as a result of being disturbed at the violence in our neighborhood. And actually it's probably just as appropriate now. We have to teach our young people what it means to be our own worst enemies. And that's basically what this message is about. It's the artist as activist. But I'm also, I don't become completely engulfed in politics. I think I also enjoy doing art for art's sake. So that's another aspect of my personality. I'm also doing a series on jazz musicians. There are 5 artists that I've chosen initially. There's so many more to go. I don't know when I'm going to stop, because every time I finish one, it's like, oh, I should have done that.
You really want to meet that second person that popped in the top of the head. What is a curator?
A curator is a very fancy term. When you go into a gallery or a museum and you find paintings on the wall, it's the work of the curator. And it's the curator's job to do studio visits, to interview artists, to critique artwork, and then make selections. And then it's also the curator that installs the work.
So what first got you into art?
I would say I've been an artist all my life. Even as a child, I used to draw, I painted. I used to make my own paper dolls. I had 4 sisters. I used to create paper dolls and wigs and clothes for my sisters. And then I became more serious about it when I went to college, and I double majored in psychology and fine arts. I went to Tufts University, and I studied at the museum school, and I found out that I'm a better business person than I am an artist.
Okay, all right.
The curator piece became part of the business side of art. Once I decided that I wanted to open a gallery, and I basically created my own experiences, and I did small shows for corporations, I did home shows, and then eventually I opened my own gallery in Boston.
So how do you find artists?
Boston is replete with artists, and we have various regions in the Boston area that are considered artist communities. And so when you kind of do your research, you find out where the communities are. And I go out and I do studio visits and I interview artists. I see their work. I spend time with them. I spend a lot of time with the artists. I get to know them. I want them to get to know me, and we build a relationship.
Do you ever ask them what their creative process is?
Oh yeah, that's why I do the studio visits. I like to actually watch. I like to hear their life stories. I want to know what inspires the painting. So it's not just a piece of work, it's a story. You know, every painting is a story, and it has an origin, and that origin is usually rooted in some experience. I'm a humanitarian, so that comes out in many different ways. It comes out in my work in public health. It comes out in my work in religion. I studied at Harvard Divinity School as well. So I'm a very down-to-earth person. My primary passion is art. What I do is not for credibility. I'm not trying to build a reputation. I follow my spirit. You know, it's where I feel I want to live a life that's happy. And part of how I live a life that's happy is when it's serving others and when it brings beauty into the lives of others. And that's why what I feel about art. Art, it moves individuals in ways. It's very healing, it's very restorative, it's beautiful, it's colorful. And I can live in a house without furniture as long as I have a painting on the wall. That's how I feel about it.
Getting dressed should be creative. Getting dressed should make you feel like you're expressing yourself beautifully and able to go out into the world and share it with people. If you own a Picasso, that's lovely, but only the people who are invited to your home can experience it and enjoy it. When you walk out looking like one, like a piece of art, you're sharing it with everybody who sees you and possibly interacts with you. I've always been addicted to jewelry and fashion, no matter how old I was or what size I have been or am. My family's always been in the design and craft business, and my mom said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, I would like to have a little studio that I can have a shop in front of, and when somebody rings the bell, I get to come out and interact and sell a thing or two, and otherwise I get to keep making. And she said, so do it. And my mom and I started it 21 years ago together, me being a larger gal and my mom being a very petite gal, both hating what was out there in the general department stores and discount shops. Basically, we wanted a nurturing, resourceful place for women to come, feel comfortable no matter what their issues were, get dressed and leave feeling put together and terrific. Because all it takes is one compliment in the line at the grocery store to make anybody feel terrific. Fashion to me is finding things that jazz you, that your eye goes to and you think, ooh. Fabrics are incredibly important to me. I come from a long line of fabric people. So print and color and texture is very important. WOW is really based on that. I am all for layering. I think the more the better. I want interesting, creative clothing that people can wear multiple times in multiple ways and feel great in. So to me, we become the art in life, but we're wearing art at the same time.
We have dresses that you can wear when you are going to a wedding. We have fashions for the young, we have fashions for the old, we have fashions for the, all ages. So like when it is an African wedding, the aunties or the uncles, they want maybe to display that African image. So we have clothes for that, and we also have clothes where we just want to feel, the girls want to feel nice, and they really enjoy them. So it's a cross-section to please everybody in any situation and any occasion. Africans love art. So you see in some of the fabrics, some of the clothes they make, they are also artistic. Like the sweaters we have pieces that are stitched on plain colors, and they look like what we call dashiki. I like doing business. At the same time, I like helping the artists, artisans, and crafters from Africa, because they work so hard. They have beautiful work, beautiful ideas, but they don't have enough outlets within their reach. So for me to take their products to overseas is a blessing to them, and they are very, very happy. That is how they sustain themselves and their families. The other thing, I also wanted people from overseas, from America, to see what the crafters in Africa do. Most people who come to this store, they know what they are looking for. Many of them, they say, oh no, I've been looking for this, And they come in from excitement from outside. So what we do is just to satisfy their wishes.